Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to WagerTalk TV. This is a Stoppage Time. I'm Carmine Bianco. The EPL, a league we normally look at to feature on Thursdays, obviously has the weekend off. They have a lot of FA Cup games. They had some weekend EFL or some weekday EFL semifinal games. So we're going to look across some of the other leagues in Europe, and we're going to go to Germany and do the Bayern Munich Eintracht Frankfurt game, Bayer Leverkusen and Dortmund on Sunday. One from France, Marseille and Monaco, and then probably the biggest game in Serie A this weekend in Italy is Napoli and Roma at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, and we are going to cover that one as well. With me from WagerTalk.com and Sports Memo are the guys. Let's bring them in. Nick Borman, Kevin Dolan, and Pavlos Lagaretos. Guys, couple League One EFL games played this week. Newcastle getting the win. Man United getting the win. There's still the return fixtures in this one, but any takeaways from those games, Kev?
Not really, Carmine. I only caught the highlights of each one. Obviously Newcastle get the shutout as well. But generally, yeah, I'm a league man first. So, caught the highlights, but nothing much more than that.
I'm a league man. You're also the king of Spain, but we don't have any Spanish games. I couldn't find a game in La Liga that I thought was better than some of these matchups that we have going, because these are a lot of top four matchups and top six matchups across these three leagues that we're going to be covering. Nick, I'll go to you next. Man United, that was I get it, Nottingham Forest, but it was still an impressive effort nonetheless by this team.
Yeah, and Kevin, just so you know, King of Spain, I know you were looking for a big matchup. Today's Madrid Derby's going. I know it's the Copa del Rey, but just pay attention to that one. Nothing. I mean, United, yes, impressive win. Kind of what it was expected, right? When we got down to the Final Four, it's like, all right, this looks like it should be Newcastle United moving on. But obviously, they have another leg to play. But both teams sit in a good position there after the first leg, so we'll see what happens as they move forward. But looking forward to the weekend. It is. There are a lot of good games, as you mentioned, Carmine. So I'm happy to break those down. It's been a quiet week this week with just Bundesliga, but it was good. Profitable days on Tuesday and Wednesday back to back. So hopefully we keep that rolling into today.
All right, keep it going. And I'm not sure what the weather is in Philly, but I had to explain to Pavlos before we went to air what a snowblower is, because this guy doesn't get snow other than in the mountains where he is. And meanwhile, I've got 2.5 feet outside that I've got to shovel or get the snowblower out after the stoppage time and puck time shows. Pavlos, how are things?
Not snowy, that's for sure. But things are going great. I won all 4 of my 5% this last week in the last 7 days. It's been going great with this 5%. I do have a 10% a soccer destroyer for this weekend. I'm going all in this match, guys. I think it's going to be one of the easiest wins we've had in a while. Looking to continue the streak in this 5 and 10%, and super excited to talk some Bundesliga and some weekend action in the French League One. And you're telling me that, for example, Valladolid versus Valencia is better than Roma versus Napoli. I'm not buying it, but I'll go with it.
Okay, well, I will make sure we get some good. There are some really good La Liga fixtures coming up soon, but I'm always wary of lineups that we're going to see in Copa del Rey. So it's why one of those games stayed off the card today. But you mentioned Bundesliga, so let's get right to it. And the first Bundesliga game that we're going to look at is the Bayern Munich Frankfurt game, and let's have a look at the odds of this one. Bayern Munich at home, minus 289. The draw, plus 509. Frankfurt, plus 592. And these are two teams that right now are top 4 in the standings. Bayern Munich atop the standings at 36 points, Frankfurt at 31. Kevin and I are going to look at this, and all I'm going to say, Kev, before I go to you, I'm just going to throw out some quick stats, and I get it. Bayern Munich, not the greatest restart after that, what seemingly 2 or 3 month World Cup and winter break for them. They get the 1-1 they had the 1-1 draw against FC Cologne last time out. I was on the wrong side of that because I had Bayern Munich first half. But when these two teams meet at the Allianz Stadium, it has been absolutely one-sided, with the exception of last year. Frankfurt go there, win 2-1, which was an anomaly if you look at the statistics in that one, completely one-sided, but they somehow got the 2-1 win. Prior to that, 17 games unbeaten for Bayern Munich in domestic league play, 16 wins, 1 draw, and 9 of the last 10 meetings at the Allianz between these two prior to the one last season. Bayern has won by 2+ goals. It's been a series between these two that is completely been dominated by Bayern Munich. So I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to take Bayern to get out of this little bit of a funk that they've gotten into thus far. 2 draws to start in their restart, one against Leipzig, one at home against Cologne. Bayern Munich -1.5, -120 is my play here. Kev, give me your thoughts.
You know, I can't believe what I'm about to say, Carmine, in regards to a Bayern game, but I actually quite like the under in this one on Saturday. You know, probably not the most popular play. You know, Frankfurt and Bayern ranked 3rd and 4th respectively in total score and offense this season, but I just think this line's a bit too high here. You know, for as good as both of these two teams have been offensively, you could argue they've been equally as good defensively as well. You know, Bayern ranks number 1 in the league defensively this year on goals allowed. Frankfurt ranked number 3 on the road. So, you know, with the fact, you know, the data backs those numbers up as well. You know, Bayern ranks number 1 in defensive XG in the league this season. Frankfurt are number 2, behind only Bayern in defensive XG away from home this season as well. And, you know, a bit like we talked about Manchester City, was it last week? You know, Bayern aren't conceding much from open play. You know, almost half of all of the goals conceded at home this season have come through set pieces and penalties combined. You know, so this defense is perhaps a little underrated, if anything. And, you know, like Bayern, Frankfurt have been almost equally as tight at the back this season. You know, they've actually given up the fewest number of open play goals on the road out of any team in the league this year. So I think on paper, you know, obviously your natural instinct will be to look towards goals in this one. But I think there's definitely enough variables here under the hood to push me towards the under in this game. And at 3.75 especially, you know, that means you need 5 goals to fully lose this bet. I believe there's some decent value in opposing goals this weekend in Munich between Frankfurt and Bayern.
All right, Kevin Dolan, WagerTalk.com. Kevin, listen, I agree with you. I'm happy with a 2-0 Bayern win. The total's at 3.5. There are some books on the WagerTalk live lines where you can see 3.75s, but I think that those will eventually drop probably down to the 3.5 consensus number. You know, that game against Cologne, they pretty much had all the statistical advantage, a goal in the opening 4 minutes, and it's probably on a shot that he misses 9 out of 10 times. I was going to say 99 out of 100 times, but a fantastic goal that put him down 1-0. It wasn't until a late goal by Kimmich gave us the 1-1 draw in that one. So I like your under. I like my 1.5, and I'll probably look at what the exact 2-0 scoreline pays in this one, so we can both get the win. On to Marseille and Monaco. We'll look at it. France Ligue 1 game. We'll have to look at the odds on this one. Marseille plus 113. The draws plus 271. Monaco plus 223. These are two teams, Nick, I enjoy watching. I think this is going to be one of the better games in France, probably the best game in France this weekend. Give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, no doubt. These are two of the better sides in the league, obviously. Marseille, they've done nothing but win since the World Cup break. 6 wins, 6 games. 2 of those are cup matches, but 4 League One victories. They sit third in the table right now, just 2 points back of surprising Lens, and only 5 points back of PSG, so still within striking distance there. Monaco right behind them in 4th place. But if you look at kind of the expected points and the expected goal data on these 2 teams, Marseille definitely deserving of their spot, and actually you could argue they should be one better sitting in second. They're second league in expected points because they have the second best expected goal average, 1.95 per match, and allow just 1.03. But when you look at Monaco, you can't really say the same thing. Monaco have 37 points this year, which, again, I already mentioned, sits 4th in the table. But if we look at their XG data, it's not nearly as good as their ranking 10th expected goals allowed, 4, and just the 7th best differential. And because of that, they're over 7 points higher than their expected points this season, and they would be sitting 7th in the table based on that, behind teams like Rennes, Lille, and Lyon. So, of course, all that really matters is their actual results, and where they are in the table now is where they are. But like we always like to talk about, the XG and expected points is a good indicator of potential future success, or I guess demise, maybe, as I might be suggesting here in this case, of a team maybe that's set to kind of go backwards a little bit in the table. I hope that's not the case. I picked Monaco. I did one future bet in League One. It was Monaco to win League One without PSG. So I'm hoping that the data gets better and they continue to play well. But I'm not feeling very good about that. And it's a reason that I think fading them here in this match makes sense. I mentioned their 1.51 expected goals allowed, which ranks 10th in the table. But when you compare that to the top of the table teams, those top 5 or 6 teams, they all average only 1 expected goal allowed to 1.2. So this is significantly worse on a defensive side for a team that, should be contending up at the top. And if you guys, you listen to me enough on the show where defense is, I'm never going to back a team that's got a sketchy defense, again, especially against a team that has a very good defense, which Marseille does. So that alone makes me want to get on the Marseille side here, because I think it's just, the defense is going to be something I can trust versus I don't trust Monaco. So I'm going to take the small plus number right now that's available on Marseille, plus 110 for them to win this match. I just think that's the right side here, and they've been rolling along. So I think they can find their way to get their 3 points in this one.
All right, I like it, Nick, and best of luck with that one. Pavlos, you're going to get the final word on this one. Hasn't been much movement on this line since the opener, but this is one of those ones where, and you love props as well too, all the goal scoring props in this one. I'm not sure where you're going as far as this play goes, but if you're expecting goals, a lot of the goal scoring props are offering some juicy numbers on some of the players that have been scoring, like Marseille's, like Ben Yedder. You look at some of the odds, and they're in the plus 200s for the goal scoring props.
Well, to be honest, I didn't look at any goal-scoring props in this match because it's a weird match. 2 weird teams. Yes, they've been playing much more steadily, I should say, this season, especially Marseille. But Monaco, they were also very weird, very unstable, and very, unable to piece a couple of, good matches together last season. However, this season, we see 2 very different, faces between the 2 sides. However, where I'm going with this is a bet on the first half. And because I do have the stats, and the stats, they just point me towards something that looks like has a very good possibility of a winner. Now, Marseille in first halves so far, they have 9 wins, 2 losses, and 8 draws. Those 8 draws are the 4th most in the league. Marseille in first halves at home, they have 3 wins, 1 loss, and 6 draws. Those 6 draws, first half draws at home, are the most in the league. Now, Monaco, in first half so far, they have 6 wins, 2 losses, and 11 draws. Those 11 draws are the most in the league. Monaco in first halves on the road, 3 wins, 2 losses, 5 draws. Those 5 draws on the road are the 2nd most in the league. The 2 teams met back in November. Marseille won by 3-2 at Monaco. The result of that first half, a draw. Marseille, the recent match they played against Rennes in the Cup. The result in that first half, draw. So there's a whole lot of coincidences surrounding this match, and I'm looking at the price for the first half draw. It's at plus 131, which is way higher than I would expect. So I'm smashing the first half draw, plus 131.
So, Pavlos, I'm going to come right back at you with a question with regards to that, because I like the play, but the the total here is about 2.75 or 3. If you look at different books across the screens, there's the prop bet. First half result, both teams to score, and the first half result draw, both teams to score is plus 600. Obviously, a 1-1 draw at halftime gets you there. Would you put some pizza money on that play?
Yes. Before
Or
you
in
finish
your
your
case, some
sentence,
Saganaki, some flaming cheese, some Saganaki money on that one.
I'll put some
and we
Musaka
one
money on
at the
it.
draw, and we're eating healthy.
Yeah, because I also looked at the stats on the over. These two have a tendency to the over, 14-3 to the over 2.5 goals in their last 17 matches, regardless of venue. 9 of those 17 matches had over 3.5 goals. So yes, I definitely, just historically speaking, I definitely see a matchup between two sides that usually score against one another, and there's usually at least 3 goals in their matches. So yes, the 1-1 draw at halftime. What was it? Plus 600. That's insane.
Plus 600.
Of course, I'll put some Saganaki money.
Listen, both on here and on Wager Talk's other show that I do, which is Puck Time. I love to throw out these pizza money bets, and it's probably why I've probably gained 15 or 20 pounds since starting to do these shows. I've got a treadmill near my desk, so I've got to hit that treadmill soon and start doing some walking. But with regards to that first game that Kevin and I talked about, the 2-0 scoreline, oddly enough, the 2-0 scoreline in that game is one of the 4 lowest prices. The 4 lowest prices are all the same at plus 900, which is 2-0 Bayern, 2-1 Bayern, 3-0 Bayern, and 3-1 Bayern. I'm happy with the 2-0 or 3-0 because Kev gets his under. I get my Bayern minus 1.5. So some additional pizza or Saganaki money on those ones. All right, let's head over to Italy and Naples for the big game of the weekend, Napoli and AS Roma. Let's have a look at the numbers on this one. Napoli minus 135, the draw plus 273, and Roma plus 390 in this one. Kev, Nick, it's going to be you and I on this one. And all I'm going to say is, listen, this Napoli team, unless they, I don't even want to use the word I'm going to use. So unless they completely bundle it in the second half, this Serie A is theirs. They've had the lead before and bundled it away when Juventus caught them, but right now sitting on top of the league, and the teams behind them are floundering a little bit. 8-1 at home, 26-7 goal differential. Roma's playing well, especially on the road. 6-3-1, 15-11 goal differential on this one. But the price just seems like a buy low price on a Napoli team that are playing extremely well. And then I look at some of Roma's away games, and they've played, their wins come against Spezia, Verona, Sampdoria, Empoli, Salernitana. Their one signature win, winning at Inter. Their draws against AC Milan and Sassuolo, and of course a loss to Udinese. This is their biggest test, I think, other than the Inter one, because Inter's sitting 4th or 5th in the standings. It's their biggest test, but it's such a buy low price on Napoli that I can't resist it at minus 135. So I'm taking, as a Juventus fan, you always hate to bet on a team from Napoli, but I'm taking Napoli here. Minus 135. Nick, where are you going in this one?
Yeah, I'm sure that one is hard to swallow, betting on Napoli for this match. But, I can't really argue too much against it. I do worry at some point, when a team's 16-2-1 in league play, the public starts to just, hey, they keep winning, so let's just keep betting them. And I don't know if their price starts to become overinflated at some point. Minus 135 is, I don't know, I'm kind of impartial to where that price is. But I would be surprised by a Napoli win here. The one thing I will say is I don't think it's going to come in any sort of high scoring or blowout type of fashion, because these teams defensively are very, very, very good. They both rank number 1 and number 2 in the league. So Roma actually leads the league, only allowing 0.65 expected goals. And when you look across all of Europe, or at least the big 5 leagues, they are number 1. Mourinho has this team as the number 1 defensive team according to XG in all the big 5 leagues, which is just remarkable to say. Napoli, very good as well, allowing just 0.89 per match. These teams have been on the opposite side of the over-under spectrum. If you look at those records this year, Napoli are 11-8 to the over. Roma, though, just 6-12-1 to the under. But, for Napoli, it's their offense that generally puts them over the total. It's not, a lack of defense. It's they scored 3 goals themselves, at least 3 goals themselves in 8 matches. And I'm very confident that Roma is just not going to allow that to happen. In fact, if you look at the results this year, they've only allowed 2 goals just twice, which is pretty remarkable. Now, I know Napoli did put 5 past Juventus a few weeks ago, but I just don't see that happen with Roma. And then if you look at Napoli's results too, they've only allowed more than 1 goal 3 times this year. So both teams have been very good all season. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be, come down to a lucky bounce one way or the other that might decide this thing. And the recent series trend has been under as well, as the last 4 have finished under the total, including the reverse fixture 1-0 Napoli win back in October. So I'm going to ride with the trends, ride with the defensive data on these teams under 2.5 goals, about -115 or so is what you can get that at.
Yeah, and Nick, I like that, because here's the thing: is if nothing else, once Napoli got ahead of Juventus in that game, it just turned into a blowout. They were fantastic, and Juve came into that game with like 8 clean sheets in domestic league play, and then they allowed 5 goals. The one thing about Roma is that I love about this team is they show a lot of fight. Dybala's having a phenomenal first season with Roma. And you look at that game at AC Milan, where Milan were full control of that game, up 2-0, and Roma get a couple late second half goals to even that up. The two lowest scores as far as exact scores here are 1-0 Napoli and 1-1 draw, and they're both at +600. Those are the lowest numbers you're going to see in this game. And I think those are obviously the 2 logical score lines, which keeps it under the total and makes you a winner on your play. So 1-0 Napoli, +600. You and I are both happy, Nick. You
yes,
good with
sir,
that?
I like that one. I'm absolutely good with that one.
All right, awesome. All right, last game on today's card. We're going to look at the game from Germany on Sunday. Bayern Leverkusen +148, the draws +266, and Borussia Dortmund +170. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Another game in Bundesliga that I love to watch. I don't know, when these 2 teams meet, it's almost like the Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach games. I love watching those ones as well too. Give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, whenever these 2 meet, and it's goals. Looking back at recent years, 9 of the last 10 matches had 3 goals or more. 8 of those had 4 goals or more. 5 of those had 5 goals or more. If you look at their most recent match, though, at the start of the season, it was a 1-0 win for Dortmund at home. However, take that result with a grain of salt, because it was the start of the season. Teams were lacking match fitness, and they were actually in a much different shape that they are right now. And trust me, guys, I've been watching both these teams closely this season, and one thing that is very common in these 2 sides is that they have very naive defenses. They've also been very, very unlucky because Leverkusen, Patrick Schick, their supposedly star striker, kind of looks like Timo Werner this season. He scored just a couple of goals, and funny thing is that Werner has scored 5 so far. So Patrick Schick, their star striker, is non-existent this season. Just a couple of goals. He's now out with some kind of injury. I'm not sure if he's getting moved. But, there was a huge black hole in their offense to start the season. Another big black hole was the injury to Florian Wirtz, their number 10 guy. He's one of the most promising youngers in Germany and in the whole world, I believe. He suffered a very bad injury last season, and in the first half of this season, he was out. Now he's starting to get some minutes lately, and he's going to be instrumental for his side moving on, especially in the offense, because he's a creative midfielder, so he creates chances. Now, Dortmund had a similar problem also because they signed Sebastian Haller from Ajax and Adeyemi from Salzburg, I believe. So they brought in 2 players, really strong offensive players, to help up, the gap that Haaland left. But they were also very unlucky because Adeyemi suffered an injury. Sebastian Haller had a really bad, he had cancer. So it was a really bad situation, but he's back. I was really happy to see him play in both matches for Dortmund this season. To be honest, Dortmund should have scored more, should have won easier than they did. Both matches against Augsburg and Mainz, they were very anxious wins because Dortmund, they're very bad at the defense. Where I'm going with this, there's a whole lot of metrics that point me towards getting the over 3 goals. I think that's the safest way to approach this match. If you look at expected goals, Bayern Leverkusen, they have 1.54. Expected goals against, 1.56. As for Gladbach, expected goals, 1.48. Expected goals against, 1.86. If you look at the actual goal averages, they're way over the 3 where the line stands right now. Leverkusen, 12 and 5, never mind the over-under. They have an average of 3.4 goals per match. And Dortmund, they have an average of 3.3 goals per match. So where I'm going with this, I see goals here, goals from both sides. If you can stick a parlay with both teams to score and over something, just go with it. I think the safest way to approach this is the over 3 goals. I think there's easily going to be 3 goals in that match. And, don't care who wins.
And don't care who wins. I was waiting for that line. I've used that one on the Puck Time show, Pavlos. minus 138 is the number on both teams to score over 2.5 goals. And I like, because I know you have hit this one continuously over at Sports Memo. The 2-1 score line is plus 900 and plus 850 for either team to win 2-0. So I think it's Leverkusen 2-0 is plus 850 and Dortmund plus 900 on 2-1, which is one of the most common score lines. But if that happens here, would be great. And to your point of Sebastian Haller, is fantastic to see him back on the field, back playing. He's yet to play a full game. He's only played in 2 league games about 20 plus minutes and a couple of friendlies. Ironically enough, he played 31 minutes against Basel in a club friendly and scored 3 goals in that game. So he hasn't lost his goal scoring prowess for sure. Kev, I haven't forgotten about you. Give me your thoughts on and the last word on this game, Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund.
I like Bayer Leverkusen in this one, Carmine. I actually won on them last night. I did lose on them on Sunday. I took Borussia Mönchengladbach against them at the weekend. They proved me wrong in that game. Did get a bit shaky for them towards the end. I thought it might be a push, but this is a good team, obviously. But like so many other teams in Germany this season, there's just a sizable gulf in terms of what they're able to do at home versus what they're able to do on the road. I don't think there's a bigger gulf actually in Europe. Maybe the Netherlands, Eredivisie is a bit like this too. But the Bundesliga home road form is stark. On average, Leverkusen are creating 1.4 expected goals more per game inside the Bay Arena this season than they have on the road. And in fact, Leverkusen ranked 3rd in the league this year in terms of total expected points gained at home, while they're 3rd from bottom away from home. So that shows you right there, the gap in terms of taking this team at home versus taking them on the road. Like Leverkusen, Dortmund are also about a goal worse off on the road this season than they are at home. They've given up over twice as many goals this year away from home than they have in Dortmund, and 5 set-piece goals as well, compared with none at home. So, there aren't that many leagues, like I said, across Europe that are so home and road form heavy with teams. And if you're going to give me the 3rd best team in the league this year, based of expected points at home, only Bayern and Leipzig have marginally better numbers than Leverkusen this season, versus a team in Dortmund who have won just 2 of the last 7 road games, 5 of which were outright losses as well. I do believe Bayer Leverkusen at a strict pick-em line is pretty good value and something that'll be on my card as well this Sunday.
All right, let's all try and cash, guys. It would be great to all get together on Tuesday's show, where we can start looking forward to Champions League, which is just a mere 2.5 weeks away, but also the return of some EPL games along with those EFL Cup semifinal Leg 2s. All right, let's go into our recap of today's shows, today's plays. Nick, I'm going to go to you first. Tell us what you have up, and we'll put your plays up on the screen.
Sure. Thanks, Carm. I have today, Thursday, 1 4% best bet going this afternoon. And then for Friday, same thing, 4% best bet. Weekend card is being looked at. I do have a couple plays up for all access subscribers as of right now. I just haven't put them in a package, but I'll be going through the rest of the card later this week. But those 2 best bets you can grab now, and plus 80% on all 4% soccer best bets dating back to August 2021, so almost 18 months now. So hopefully keep that long-term trend going today and tomorrow.
All right, keep it going, Nick. Indeed. Pavlos, you're up next. Tell us what you have up at Sports Memo, and we'll get to have a look at your leans on your 2 games today.
I do have a soccer 2-pack, just a couple of small leans for today, Thursday, but I do have a big 10% move for the weekend. In my last 10% side bets, I'm 7, 1, and 2 with those 2 being pushes, so it's 87.5 winning percentage plus 52.4 units. I'm very confident about my play over this weekend, and there's more plays being researched. I think I'm going to have one more big play because I have actually there's a dozen of matches that I'm looking at, and some of them are loaded, some of them are not. But by tomorrow, you'll find out on my Twitter page if I am or if I'm not going to be releasing another 10% because I have my eyes set on something. I'm just looking for some small, last-minute detail.
All right. Best of luck to you this weekend. And Kevin, Nick, and I anticipate a text message from you on this big 10-unit play. So, because we got to eat too, Kev, I'm going to go to you next. Tell us what you have up at WagerTalk, and we'll have a look at your leans.
Yeah, just finalising off the weekend soccer card right now. We had a massive weekend last weekend. We went 15-4-1 across the board. I'm going to pivot slightly to hockey here in this one. We're on a red-hot run in NHL right now, 9-1. We've cashed 13 of the last 16 as well. So looking for win number 10 tonight. That's already loaded up with WagerTalk right now. And code Dolan40 is still active. Don't want to remind anyone of my birthday. But that gets a full 7-day all access pass down from the regular price of $99 to just $40. So huge saving there. So yeah, get on board that. We'll have our full soccer card released tomorrow. And hopefully looking for a big 15-4 weekend for the second weekend in a row.
All right, and happy 60th to you, Kev. We look forward to celebrating. Happy 40th to you, Kev. We look forward to. You're still at 60% battery life, man. That's how you got to look at it. If you assume you're going to live to be 100, you're at 60% battery life. That is a good position to be in, my friend. And best of luck to you this weekend. Myself. No soccer plays loaded today. Might have a client play that goes out, but no actual card up. NHL 19-4 run. The last 7 days, it's going really well, and 3 plays up there over at WagerTalk. So you can grab those, and you can grab a free play coming up at the top of the hour as Andrew McInnes, myself, and Brian Leonard look at 4 games in the NHL on Puck Time. For myself, Nick Borman, Kevin Dolan, and Pavlos Agatos, this is Stoppage Time. We will see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Best of luck this weekend with your wagers, guys.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.